In the last video, we looked at extracting the HTML content so that we could navigate that structure and extract elements that were interesting to us. In this section, we rely on that content and start finding specific pieces of information. So let's suppose we want to find the recipe elements from the HTML source code. We can do this using the find all function. The find all function is a method associated with the Beautiful Soup library. So once we've created an object using Beautiful Soup, we then have access to all of these methods. In the last section, we created an object called response page, and that's all the HTML source code in a form that we can look through and navigate. Let's create a new object called recipes, and we'll set that equal to all of the elements that have this exact tag and class combination. Okay, so we're looking for div tags with a class equal to recipe, and then we're going to print all that information. Now let's notice where this is coming from in the HTML source code. Okay, so we're looking at anything that has this combination of tag and class. So div tag class is equal to recipe. Notice that there are many other tag and class combinations. Here's a p tag that has a class equal to title, another p tag with a class of description, with a class of ingredients, and then many others, right? Unordered list, the class equal to ingredient list, and so on. Okay, so if we can specify the right tag and class combination like we do here, then we should be able to get just the information that is of interest to us. Okay, so these are all of the elements, and here's how they are separated. So notice there are commas between them. So this is the first recipe with a div tag and a recipe class. Where's the next one? Okay, the next one is right here. Okay, and then commas separate these. When we use the find all function in Beautiful Soup, the output is actually a list. So this is what we mean by making the object navigable and usable in Python. So if I have a Python list, I know there are a lot of types of operations I can do with that object. Okay, so to sum up this last step, we took the response page, which was the navigable HTML source code. We used the find all function to extract the content that was part of this div tag and recipe class combination. So this found all of the div elements with a class of recipe, and that represents the individual recipes in the HTML source code. We can use a for loop to print out the formatted HTML for each recipe to ensure we're getting the correct elements. So that's how we check. Let's look at extracting something specific now from the recipes. So let's say that we want to, for each recipe, get the title of the recipe so we know what it's about, and all of the ingredients. Once we have the recipe elements, we can extract the title and ingredients for each recipe. So here we'll use the p tag with the class equal to title. And we'll do this for the recipe title and the list item li tags for the ingredients. So let's just take a look again. Where is this coming from? This p tag right here gives us the title. Okay, and then div tag and class of ingredients is here. The list items include the actual ingredients that go into the recipe, so we want that information as well. Okay, so that's what the source code looks like. Now let's break down the code to extract that. Okay, so we're doing a for loop. So we go through the collection of recipes that we've already extracted, and our iterative variable is a recipe, so that just means each of those recipes in the list that we generated with the find all function. We're creating a variable called title, which results from finding the elements with the tag and class combination specified here, and we'll print that. Next, we look at the ingredients, and because there are multiple ingredients in each recipe, we're going to use the find all instead of the find. Okay, so we want to find all of those ingredients, set that collection equal to ingredients. Then to make this into something more usable in Python, we'll set up an empty list called ingredient list, and we'll set up an iterative process for ingredient in ingredients, which again is that collection of every ingredient in the recipe. We'll take the empty list that we created, and as we often do, we will append the text associated with that particular ingredient. And now notice here that we add a dot lower. This is going to make all of the ingredients into lowercase, and this will help us with later steps that require us to search information, and that, as we know, Python is case sensitive, so converting everything to lowercase allows us to access the ingredients consistently. Okay, and then lastly, we're just printing the ingredient list. Okay, so that's how that code works. We extract the title, we use the find function to locate the first paragraph element with the class title, and we extract its text using the .text attribute. We extract the ingredients. To do so, we find all list item elements inside the div class, it's short for division, with the class of ingredients. Convert them to lowercase for case insensitive matching, and store them in a list called ingredient list. Okay, that's all for now. In the next video, we'll take a look at how we can start trying to match our search terms with the existing ingredients.